Alright, tonight's lesson is lesson 39, and we are comparing fractions by drawing pictures. Okay, so if you go ahead and look at those two circles at the top, 1/4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1/4 is shaded here, and 1/2, 1/2 is shaded in this circle. We can see that the 1/4 is much smaller than the 1/2. We're looking at the shaded parts of those circles. And the 1/4 is smaller than the 1/2. So the way that we have been writing and comparing our fractions is writing something like this. 1/4 and 1/2. Okay, and 1/2 is bigger. So this is something that we're going to be doing as we are making our notes. We're going to be drawing pictures of our fractions and then comparing them to see which ones are bigger, which ones are smaller, and even which ones are equal to each other. So our very first example says, Tom finished his math in 1/3 of an hour. Jan finished in 1/2 of an hour. Who took longer? Draw a picture. And so below I have given you a few different steps to follow in order to get your answer right every time. If you follow these steps, it'll really break it down, and through your pictures you'll be able to tell which fraction is bigger. So if you want to pause your video now, copy everything down, and then try the steps on the side over here to see what answer you get, and then unpause your video, hit play, and then follow along with me and I will show you the way that I would do the problem. Okay, so step 1, draw two congruent shapes. And congruent means exactly the same. So I'm going to draw rectangles because, they are easy. So I'm going to draw my rectangle. And I'm going to draw my other rectangle. And congruent, we're going to say these are exactly the same. Okay, this one is going to be Tom. I'm going to put a T. And this one is going to be Jan. J. Okay, now Tom, he finished his math in 1/3 of an hour. So I know, looking at that fraction, I need to break this up into 3 pieces. I'm just going to put my 3 over there. Jan finished in 1/2 of an hour. So that 2, that denominator, means I need to break it into 2 pieces. So I'm going to try my best. And this is 1/2. Okay, so now I took my shapes, okay? Number 2 says, divide the shape into the number of parts shown by the denominator. So that's what I did. I looked at the denominator, 2 for Jan. So I divided Jan into 1, 2. Tom finished in 1/3. The denominator is 3, so I broke it into 1, 2, 3. 3 parts. All right. And now I'm on to step 3. And step 3 says, shade the number of parts shown by the numerator. So we've talked about that before. The top number shows me how many pieces I want. So here, my numerator of 1/3 is 1. So I just want 1 piece here. And my numerator for Jan, 1/2 is 1. So I need 1 piece here. So now, by looking at our pictures, we can see who took longer. So, I like to draw my dotted line, just to show exactly, compare them. There's some white here. So who took longer? She only took 1/3 of the time when she took 1/2. And so she took longer to work on her homework. So your answer here would be Jan. All right. And if you are listening to the video, go ahead and draw a star up at the top of your paper by comparing fractions, by drawing pictures. A star by the letter C. So when I check your notes, I know that you are listening to the video. All right, go ahead and write down the next example. You might need to copy it down and try to answer the question before I tell you. It says, these fractions are written in order from least to greatest. So the smallest to the biggest. And why do you think that is? All right. As you can see, so if we have a piece of pizza, I don't know why I think of pies and pizzas. Okay, and if you have a pizza and it's divided into 1/2, okay, something like this, you get to eat 1/2 of it. That is a really big piece. But if you were to come down to this 1/9 and you had a pizza, I don't know, these are going to be 8s. so even smaller than that, and you were to eat 1/9 of it, that's not a really big piece. So as you can see, as your number starts to get smaller, your pieces start to get bigger, and that's because you're out of less numbers. Okay, so so I would put my answer as the denominators decrease. I'm gonna make this shorter. As the numbers decrease, okay, the value increases, meaning it gets bigger. Or as the denominator increases, okay, the value is smaller. So it's almost opposite. All right, and then the last example, you have right here 1/3 and 1/4, 2/3 and 2/4. So tell me, show me, compare these two fractions. Which one is bigger and which one is smaller? Again, use the steps from above to help you. So you can draw two equal shapes and then shade them and see one on top of the other which one is truly bigger. Okay, so if I were to do this really fast, I'm just going to draw this really fast. These two shapes, okay? My thirds, half, half. Again, 1/3 and 1/4. Which one is bigger? That is going to be bigger. Okay, and if I come over here, draw my two shapes. 1 and 3, half, half, half. Now look and you can see, which one do you think is bigger? Alright, and then here is your lesson practice. And I will be checking these tomorrow when you leave your notebooks on your desk.